Wrong. I say it wrong every time.
Who gives a fuck what this fucker's last name is? Can we just name him Go Away, motherfucker? God damn it. Yeah. Like, it was funny because we were talking about this, like, not too long ago on Twitter, and it was just like, dude, I'm so tired of having to try and spell this fucker's last name. I mean, I just put Paulie.
Yeah, I don't spell that shit at all, Jack.
Yeah. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. This is Keyboard Warriors, episode 72. I'm Eddie Law. That's Fred Kirby. That's just Rebecca. We're going to get right into the Polymers United. I can't say his fucker's last name.
See?
God damn.
Brick's got the worst. And he's fucking American, right? It's an Italian.
Italian heritage, but I believe he's American.
You can't be American and have a goddamn last name that's fucking hard to pronounce. If you're Russian, fair. I get it. Brazilian, fucking Slovakian, whatever. God damn it, you're from Brooklyn. Fucking Mallow, whatever the fuck.
He's a proud Italian, my friend. He's a
so
proud
what
Italian.
The fuck, man? Are they like? Have you heard about this, Eddie? You act like you hadn't even heard. Have you heard that they're taking this? Like this might actually be a thing. Conor versus fucking Paulie.
Yeah. So apparently, the two sides have been speaking, negotiating is what they're saying.
You know where the smoke comes from? The smoke comes from that fucking little Paulie prick saying that Paul Heyman, which is it just me or was that a prick from the ECW? Right? Was that like a wrestling guy, Paul Heyman?
He's still a wrestling guy, I think.
Okay, whenever I hear the name Paul Heyman, that whole Conor Floyd shit, every time I hear that name, I think about the fucking Undertaker or some shit.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the same guy, to be honest with you.
Well, of course it's not the same guy, but still, the black man, Paul Heyman, that got the deal done with the Floyd fight, Paulie fucking Malja, whatever the fuck, said that Mr. Heyman told him that they were going to get that fight done. And that dude pretty much gets shit done when he wants it done. Now, all things being equal, he's kind of got a little bit of a point there. That fucking Paul Heyman dude, I don't know exactly who he is, but fuck, he made a fucking fight with Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor happen. I suppose he could do the same with Paulie's shortstop.
Well, shit. Look, and what's up? You see on the comments. He's tired of this Paulie shit too. He goes, Paulie needs to shut the fuck up. To be honest, CBA with his bullshit. God no, Paulie doesn't deserve a payday. Fuck Paulie. He doesn't deserve a red painting night. And then a bunch of angry faces. So, and Joey says, "Sup, motherfuckers? What up, Joey?" Yeah. So it all things fucked up, and it's irritating because it's like we just want to see some MMA for once. Like we've been talking about boxing fucking forever.
Listen.
So yeah.
You don't get a bigger Conor nut hugger than me, right? Right. I mean, how long we been doing the show? How long we known each other? How long we've been talking fucking MMA since before Conor was a thing. I've been riding his fucking train since he got to the UFC. I can tell you, as a fucking unbiased Conor nut hugger, this is the line, Jack. I don't give a fuck if it's boxing. God damn it, fighting with Kempo sticks. I don't want to see Conor and Paulie do nothing. I don't want to see those pricks do a dance off at a nightclub. I don't want to see them do anything together. If they do anything like combat sport, listen, Conor McGregor has got one of two fights, in my opinion. Fucking Nate, which I don't want, but I'll accept, or fucking Tony. That is it, Jack. We have fun with Floyd, but this Paulie nonsense has got to be put to fucking bed.
Jesse, what do you think about this, man? With this whole here's a question that I put out. I want to say as soon as I heard about this shit. Was, and you tell me your answer as relating to this whole boxing thing, right? It's, does Conor McGregor have an obligation to the division to defend the belt?
Oh, no, I don't think he has obligation to anything, honestly, because he's kind of, what do we always talk about? You know, he's made his nut. He's the king of the UFC, and the UFC is going to allow him to do whatever makes them the most money. So whatever makes him the most money is what he's going to do. Obligation? No, not really. I mean, to the fans probably will feel slighted if he does do boxing again, or if he takes the Nate fight maybe and doesn't defend that title. But does that really matter in the end? Because all the fans are still going to watch whatever he does. So I don't really think it matters, man. At this point, we have a current champion, in my opinion, in Tony Ferguson. He's the 155 champ until Conor comes in and, you know, proves that he's not or proves that he is. Either way. So, you know, let's just keep it moving until Conor McGregor decides to, you know, the king decides to, you know, hammer down something and, you know, let it be done how it's going to be done. But up until that point, let's just leave it at that, you know. The more we give him attention And the more we nut hug like Fred over here, the more power he has, and the more he's going to keep doing this crap.
What the fuck is going on? Am I the fucking Conor fan or what? I don't know what's happening. Listen, yeah, of course he's got a fucking obligation to defend that belt. And let me tell you something too, fucking Jesus, and the most of you out there calling fucking Tony the real champion. Can we just stop it with that? Listen, Tony's not the goddamn real champion. He's the fucking interim champion. Fucking alternative facts much? Welcome back to reality, guys. That cocksucker's not the real champion.
That's my favorite use of alternative facts ever.
I like him. I like Tony. But Conor is the champ. I don't give a shit how long he's been gone for. It was a weird circumstance. He got to fight the greatest boxer ever, make $1 gajillion. He's back now until they sign the Paulie fight, which hopefully they don't. Huh?
Is he back? Because I don't see him announcing his next fight. I don't see him announcing, hey, Tony, I'm coming for you. It's more like, hey, what's up, Nate? Maybe if you bring your number down, we'll make that fight. That's not going to prove he's the champ. That don't mean nothing to me.
But that's not exactly what happened, though. John Kavanaugh did come out and say they want Tony. So that was, that's. Hey, man, he speaks for the man. Jesus Christ, you act like it's the bum in front of the gym. It's fucking John Kavanaugh. If he's saying they want Tony, we got to take his fucking word until Conor puts out something different. And I think the Tony fight sells. Okay, here's a question for you cocksuckers. We all know that fucking Conor sells 1 million fucking buys against a broomstick.
Yep.
And I think we all would agree that Nate is going to do more than Tony. But here's the question. How much more? How much more? How many more buys does Nate versus Conor actually do than Tony versus Conor? And then it comes down to how important is getting some unity with those belts. And that's where the magic lies.
Can I hit you with this, though, Fred? I think it depends what the stakes are. If we're just doing a fun fight with Nate for a third time, I don't think that's going to do much more than unifying the belts with Tony. Yet, if you get like he's fighting Conor for the belt, I think that'll do a lot more pay-per-view buys, because that's actually something that's tangible that's going to prove who's the best out of those two guys. It's going to be a deciding factor in this trilogy. But if it's just like a fun fight where Conor's taking a catch weight or something, I don't think that's going to do too much for, a red penny night for most people.
Well, put your goddamn mouth where your numbers are at. What do you think? Like, what do you think one way or the other? What do you think fucking, with the belt or without the belt?
Okay, I'll say this. I mean, I think everybody's interested.
Make $1 million the benchmark. Just like hypothetically, Nate versus Conor being $1 million. How do you think Tony goes with the belt and without it?
With Tony, I think you do about 1.5, 1.5, 1.6. I think with Nate, I think you're looking at a 2 million buy. I think that fight offers that much more money.
With or without the belt? With your theory?
With the belt, I think they could do gangbusters, man. I think that'll do a lot more than that. I think that'll set the benchmark for pay-per-view buys.
I love you, Jesse, but I think you're an idiot. And I'll tell you why. Because I think the only people that really care about Nate Conor are fucking affliction-wearing, Bud White sipping douchebags. And those pricks don't give two piss-alls about no fucking belts. They just want to see those two guys fight. You know what I'm saying? So I'll tell you this. I think there might be some – listen, man, I think Tony Ferguson's kind of got the rub right now. Look, man, if Nate had not beat the fuck out of Michael Johnson on Fox, that little post-fight thing don't happen. Because, listen, it all stems from performances. At the end of the day, we can all talk all the shit we want to about Conor, but he got in there and he fucking thunderstruck some fools, and he got the belt because of it. I mean, he talks a lot, but he does back it up. Nate runs his mouth, fucking misses, does all the shit. At the end of the day, sometimes he wins big fights impressively. That's what you need. Listen, what's Tony doing right now? Winning big fights impressively. Not the greatest shit talker in the world, but I think you might be surprised. I think Tony's narrowing the gap on the pay-per-view buys here. I think at this point, he's got the interim belt. He's got some super impressive performances. He's running his mouth. He's no Nate Diaz, but I mean, fuck, man, the other ingredients are there.
Okay, real quick on this triangle between Nate, Tony, and Connor. Let me just clear this thing up. The shit talk is not great from either guy, Tony or Nate. The difference is Nate is real and you know it. Like, you know, he legitimately doesn't give a fuck. You know, he legitimately doesn't really care to talk shit. Like, Connor goes off with the fucking promo of just the fucking clearly rehearsed promos, and Nate's response, "Fuck you. Now what?" Or "Fuck you. How about that?" You don't care. You don't give a fuck. Tony Ferguson, awful shit talk. Even the prepared shit's awful. Okay, so that's not even gonna be a fucking thing. I'm with Fred. Impressive performances get numbers. You finish a guy like Kevin Lee by triangle, whether or not he has staff or not. Whether or not you got Khabib's douchebag, we'll talk about him in a hot second here because he's fucking talking shit about Kevin Lee too, like a dipshit. All right. Whether or not, it doesn't matter how Kevin Lee was. You finished impressively. Fred's right. He pieced up. Nate pieced up Michael Johnson. Went off. I was like, "Fuck you, Conor McGregor. You're taking everything I work for." Fucking gold. And that was not even. That was straight out. Improv. Right. So then you get the fights. Then Nate, impressive performance against Conor. Finishes in him. Even in the second fight.
That's what kept this thing going.
Exactly. Even in the second fight, impressive performance. Had to go to majority decision. Wasn't even unanimous. It wasn't even a clear winner, right? So, except at the end, Conor got the win. But here's the thing: the reason why the Nate fight to me does better numbers is because there's already a history there. There's already a storyline there, right? With Tony, and that's honestly the fight I want to see first. Tony Conor. Is because it's like, ooh, what did he do against Conor McGregor? You know what I mean? He took a lot of shots against Kevin Lee, and Kevin Lee wasn't even 100%. What is he going to do against the prime Conor McGregor? That's impressive. That's what I want to see. That's a fight I want to see. So, I mean, that's just my 2 cents on that. But, Jesse, what were you saying?
No, you know what? I think you guys also have a little air of rose-colored glasses here about the whole Nate Conor situation. Mm-hmm. Because Nate was never going to get that fight. Remember that.
Agreed.
Nate was never going to get that fight up until, who was it? Dos Anjos pulled out the fight last minute. Then they called the guy that was talking, Matt Smack, and called out the king, right? I mean, but you got to agree with me. Wait. You got to agree with me, Fred.
It was a sweepstakes. It was that fight.
Exactly. You're correct. It was definitely a sweepstakes. And of course, the guy that they know is going to bring a fight to a guy that they love promotionally at the time, they took a chance. And they're like, well, if it doesn't go down, at least this guy's going to get in there, be tough, and he's going to give Conor McGregor a good show. Ended up beating him, not what the company wanted, but it definitely created this buzz around those two. Yet, he wasn't the original guy that they were looking at. If let's paint the scenario. Had RDA been in there, got snuffed in, a round or two, would Nate have ever gotten an opportunity?
Sorry.
Probably not, but shoulda, coulda, woulda, like probably not, to answer your question.
And to add to Jesse's point, there was a bunch of guys that called before they called Nate. Frankie Edgar said no. There was like a handful of guys that said no. Short notice, 2 weeks? No. Who was the one guy that said, yeah, fuck it, let's do this shit? Nate Diaz. So you got to give him that credit there, Jesse, that he stepped up.
No, of course. I'm not taking anything away from Nate. I'm just saying that we got to look at the whole situation. And I think right now the best thing that Conor can do for his brand and for being the guy, for all of us, for us as hardcore fans, defend the title. Because at this point, him and Tony are the same. They won the championship belt and they have 0 defenses between the both of them. They haven't really established themselves as dominant champions in anything. They just kind of have the belt as hey, I was better this night. I definitely think that would be the best course of action for Conor. Now, if he wants to do, a fun fight to kind of end that trilogy with Nate, I mean, I think that's going to do gangbuster numbers because, like Fred said, you got all the Just Bleed fans that are just going to be there, watching that fight, paying the money. I just don't think it's going to do anything for Conor.
Okay. I'm sure we can agree. None of us want the poly fight, right?
Yeah.
There. Okay. Let me just read some YouTube comments here. Jeremiah from the Hardcore MMA Show says if this fight, he's talking about the poly fight. This fight happens, I'm boycotting the UFC. Uncle Hank's drinking buddy saying Poly's annoying. UC says I'm a nut hugger too, but I just want to see Conor in the fucking octagon. That's all. I want Conor versus Kukui, and that is it. And Jeremiah goes, you know, it's bad when Fred draws the line on Conor.
No shit, man. No shit.
Yeah, that's true. UC says, I like Khabib, but he's not doing a good job lately promoting himself. He needs to take a few normal fights before he gets a title shot. He's too inactive for a title shot. We'll bring him in a second. And I think he also says, I think Tony and Conor will be interesting as fuck. On the ground, Conor is fucked. On a stand-up, Tony is fucked. He's too sloppy, leaves himself open a lot. Definitely a great matchup. And you can take that a whole bunch of ways. Jesse?
Let me ask you, though. Let me ask you, Fred. Do you agree with that, though? Do you agree on the ground Conor McGregor is completely, you know, shit out of luck?
But, mind you, I believe he's a purple belt. I'm not sure. Purple or brown belt. I'm not sure.
I think I wouldn't say fucked, but I would give Tony the noted edge.
Oh, easily.
I would say that Conor could probably last a little better on the ground than Tony will fare at distance on the feet. But that's what makes MMA so open and fun, man. Even on the ground and even on the feet, you don't necessarily have to play those games. Conor doesn't have to stay in El Kukui's guard, and Tony doesn't have to stay at range. He can, you know, this fight can take place in a million different ways. But I don't think that Conor will be in extreme trouble. I mean, he's competent on the ground. He's extremely athletic. But he has been training nothing but his hands for a long time, so that could bite him in the ass a little bit. I mean, fucking Tony's been rolling with Eddie Bravo, so
yeah. So
yeah, but I mean, look, it's weird because then you think about that fight with Nate Diaz, right? And Nate Diaz couldn't really get him down in that second fight, right? Like, really didn't try, but he really couldn't either. And then in that first fight, when he was fresh and he took him to the ground, he really couldn't do much to him. You know, Conor McGregor showed some great jiu-jitsu awareness of avoiding everything. The only reason he got taken down and taken out of that fight was because he gassed. He gassed. He got cracked a couple times. He got a little woozy and then made some mistakes on the ground. But I mean, I really think that he's a lot more competent than people give him. Jiu-jitsu level of Nate Diaz, in the sense that I just don't think if those two go head to head, I don't give El Kukui that much of an edge over Nate Diaz in the jiu-jitsu game.
No, but El Kukui's got a lot better fucking wrestling.
I have to agree with that.
You know what I'm saying? Nate's wrestling is kind of shite. I mean, we all know his BJJ's top notch, but he cannot really get the fight on the ground. Tony's takedowns will be a lot different and a lot more effective than Nate's were.
Yeah, and UC says not completely fucked. I didn't phrase that right, but Tony has the advantage 100% on the ground. I agree. I agree. Yeah. So
definitely has the advantage for sure.
Yeah. The thing is, when the first fight, now you guys mentioned the first fight, I remember, in the first round near the end of it, I remember Conor and Nate were on the ground, and Conor was defending very well. I was like, when that fight hit the ground at the end of the first round, I was like, it's going to get interesting, and Conor defended pretty well.
Yo, mark my words right now. If they do the Conor Tony fight, that fight will come down to one thing and one thing only: how much damage Tony Ferguson can take. Because Conor will gas. Yeah. Make no mistake about it, he will gas, and Tony can take a lot of damage. Can he take Conor's damage? That's all that fight comes down to. If he can take the damage, fourth round, Conor's fucked. If they do that fight, hypothetically, and it makes it to a fourth round, wherever y'all are at, know that wherever I'm at, shit is in my pants. Because if it goes to a fourth round, I am not confident at all in Conor's chances. The first 3 rounds, sure. Rounds 4 and 5, Tony, 1,000,000%. 1,000,000%.
All right, well, let's talk about the man that Joey Diaz called Khabib, okay? Khabib Nurmagomedov coming out saying that he said this dude's still asking for title fights. He can't even make it to a fight. All right, can't make it past the weight cut. Can't make it 2 weigh-ins. But this guy wants to fight for a title already. Hey, Jesse? Remember what he said? I think he said something like he would fight Tony. It's him. He wants him against Tony and Nate against Conor, and then winners fight each other. Isn't that what he said? Yeah. That's basically he has kind of the right idea of what people want to see, because we do want to see that Tony Ferguson match, right, against Khabib. I mean, I think as fans, we all want to see that fight. It got booked 3 times. It never happened, but I think we want to see that fight.
And we definitely want to see a third fight between Conor McGregor and Nate Diaz. But I mean, it's just weird that instead of saying, I want the Conor fight, he's trying to go for a Tony Ferguson fight and get an interim champion to defend when we have the champion that might be available to actually unify that title. So it's kind of weird. And like you said, he's not very good at the talking. You know, he's not very good at it. Ali is definitely not doing him justice over there on his Twitter page. So, I mean, it's a disaster over there.
Yeah, goddamn.
Hold on. God damn it. Now, just hold on. Fucking for Christ's sakes. I'm not going to let y'all sully Khabib.
No, go.
Like that. Hold on, God damn it. Let's provide just a hair's worth of context here.
Okay.
What was going on. Now, just calm down, cocksuckers. Do you motherfuckers actually think that if they offered Khabib the fight against Conor, he would say no? Of course he would take the fight against Conor. What he's saying is, what he said was, I watched that interview too, you cocksuckers. What he said was, this is what the UFC wants. This is money fight, right? This is money fight. Yes, they want Nate versus Conor. Then this is where, and he's right? That is the money fight.
No, he has a point.
Probably what they want. Like, let's be fucking honest here. If all things were being equal and Nate was naming the right price, this fight would probably already be fucking booked. You know what I'm saying? And at that point, Khabib's just trying to get the biggest fight he can get against Tony. I mean, fuck, Tony is the toughest guy out there. I mean, believe me, my point is he's not trying to avoid Conor.
100%.
Tony. If they gave him Conor, he would fucking take that fight. I just think he thinks there's no way he's getting Conor, so might as well shoot for Tony. But he even said he'd take Barboza, which is probably what's going to happen.
Yeah, I think he'll get Barboza too. Jesse?
But let me ask you, Fred. If you're in his position, you're undefeated, and okay, you've had some weight cut issues, whatever. You know, you can resolve those things. Wouldn't you be shooting for that Conor fight? Wouldn't you say, yeah, the UFC might want this, but they need to make this fight against me because of this, or whatever reason? When you start delegating yourself down to like, well, I'm not really the money fight. I just put me against Barboza or, the interim champ. That undercuts your value. You're not valuing yourself right, man. Because like you said, I think Khabib is probably the guy. He's got the best wrestling. I mean, the way he trucks people is just incredible, right? We just need to see him more often in there doing his thing. But I don't know, man. Like when you say stuff like that, it just makes you sound like you're not confident enough in that you're going to be able to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I don't think it's that, man. I just think dude, he's not getting the Conor fight. He knows that. Like, that's not, dude, if they pass, the only fucker that's getting the Conor fight, not named Tony, is Nate. I mean, there's no fucking way they're passing Nate and Tony up and giving Khabib the Conor fight. That's just not reality. At that point, let's give it to Kevin. So I think this is, it's, you know how these Russians are, man. They don't, it's nonsense to talk about shit that's just not going to happen. That's ridiculous. That's never going to happen. So
I get you, but I mean, you also want to shoot for the stars, right? Because Conor, right? I mean, Nate was not close to be.
You don't want to waste your time on shit that's impossible, though, dude. You're not getting the Conor unless Nate and Tony die in a fucking fiery auto crash with each other. Khabib's not getting that Conor fight. Not right now, man. It's just, there's no way.
But tell me this, though. Like, let's put it in the perspective of Nate had no shot of fighting Conor McGregor before, right? When he had just beaten Michael Johnson. He wasn't on that level, but he still shot for what he knew was the best chance that, at making a money fight. I mean, we're in the business. This UFC business is about marketing yourself, and you can't undersell yourself. You have to say, I'm the best. They need to come and take this O away from me. And the only guy that can take this O away from me is nobody, and I'm going to prove it by beating Conor, or I'm going to prove it by, like, you got to sell yourself. You can't undersell yourself and say, Barboza, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, but come on, man. If Khabib had done that, the hardcores would have ate his dick off. Like, oh, of course he wants the Conor fight. That's the easy fight. He's avoiding Tony. He's scared of Tony. That's the real champion. He didn't want to fight Tony. Either way, people would have cried. I just think he knew there's not a snowball's chance in hell he gets the Conor fight, so why waste energy on it?
No, I agree with you, but I'm saying, it's marketing, man. You got to sell yourself. Come on. Yeah. You're the best guy in that division.
besides Khabib's fighting, like his best like promotional work was this is number one bullshit. That's like the one. That's like one thing he's got. So I'm like, hey, fuck it, dude. We're run it. Why not? And as just reading a few comments here, a lot of people don't really want the Diaz fight either. I mean, consensus on YouTube. I mean, and Raider says, oh, Raider makes a point here. Tony Ferguson could take a lot. He took Barbosa damage, and he also took Banada damage, got hurt, and ended up winning.
Conor's got that weird power, though, man. A lot of guys that Conor has just starched have taken a lot of. Look at Eddie fucking Alvarez, man. That dude's taking beatings from everybody and just got thunderstruck by Conor.
He got fucked up.
Right.
And then so it's this will be a fucking topic of discussion until Conor fights again in the UFC.
You know what I would like to see in an ideal world, and everybody calm their panties down. I know it would never happen, but if I had my druthers at this point, the current what we got, because I like Nate. I think he is a top guy. When Nate's on, I think he can beat any of those guys. Real talk. Like I think all of them could beat each other on a good day. I would like on the same card to see Conor fight Tony, fucking legitimize the belts, and have Khabib fight Nate. And then let that winner fight the goddamn winner. Nate, you got one fight to win, bruh, and you get the big trilogy fight. Conor's got to win a fight too. You fuckers don't win the fight? Then cool. We'll give y'all the trilogy fight after as the losers that y'all are. I mean, we'll see what happens, but Nate needs to fight again at this point. It's been too long.
Yep. Yeah. God damn it, I agree with Fred.
And by the way, people keep asking about Nick Diaz coming back, man. Just stop thinking about it. Don't even worry about it. That dude is probably not.
Yo, speaking of TMZ shit, did y'll see that video with Nate?
Oh, and Rampage?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, not Nate, Nick.
Yeah, it was Nick. Little bit of background. Back in the Pride days, allegedly, Rampage tried to take Nick's girl or did take Nick's girl.
Yeah, I heard that story.
Right? Mm-hmm. So as soon as I saw this video, people were like, "Oh wow, Nick's gonna get fucked up," and I said, "Shit!" And I'm sitting here going, "He's just getting a little payback. Chill the fuck out."
Rampage did take his girl, from what I can remember. It's back when Rampage was like a star, and Nick was just trying to get on, and Rampage like come through and swooped his bitch when he was big in Pride and shit.
So I saw this video and I recognized it immediately. I'm like, "Oh, Nick's getting some payback. What's up?"
You know what I wondered about that video when I seen it? The first thing that came to mind, Nick looks huge.
Well, yeah.
Like Rampage is a big guy, and he didn't look. I mean, don't get me wrong, he looked bigger than Nick, but not by like what you would think. Like they look low key, relatively the same size, kind of. Like Rampage was thicker, but Nick, he's not cutting weight, Jack.
Oh no, he's not. He's not. He's been doing a lot of and Raider says it looked fake, and it did. It was weird, but I don't know if it was fake, but it looked weird.
Yeah, I kind of thought that too. Nick looked a little. They both looked a little buzzed, so I could see maybe them being cool and just playing it up for the camera too. I mean,
whatever.
Because maybe Rampage would have really tripped, but that was fucking interesting at least.
It definitely was. Now the thing about Nick, everyone's like been asking, around. Excuse me, what's Nick doing? All he does is partying and shit. Like he gets paid for a lot of these like appearances and shit. From what I've heard. So don't take my word for it. I don't know. He might actually be out there just partying every fucking night. But I mean, come on. What up?
No. We've talked about this before. Nick stated that he never got to enjoy his 20s, his like teenage years wants and kind of dictate his own life. Mm-hmm. So at this point, you got the money, you got the time. Why not just do whatever you want, man? And that's what he's doing. He's living it up, man. Leave him alone. He doesn't want to fight. He's not a fan of the game.
That's what I think. I don't think he wants to fight either. So unless someone offers him like stupid money and like a big fight, but I don't see that happening anytime soon. All right, moving on here. I'm just literally going on Twitter trying to see what people want to talk about. And real quick, Fred, on the Juliana Pena story, she's pregnant. She's out for a while. Is it yours?
I wish. That bitch is probably rich. I wish I would have knocked up a hoe like that. Or she got more money than I do, that's for sure. She probably made more money on one fight night than I've made my whole fucking life. One of those little performances of the night. I'd fuck her little Mexican ass and put, wait, was she Mexican?
Venezuelan. And
I've always had the goal to have like one of each kind. You know, a little me, a little Japanese me, a little Mexican me, a little white, a little black. You know what I'm saying? YOLO, man.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Let's talk Chris Cyborg. So if you guys haven't seen it, Chris Cyborg put on Twitter something like, "Hey, you know, I've been tested so many times. I want my opponent to be tested a bunch of times too." Holly Holm came back with like the calm, like mean girl clapback video where it's almost like a little passive aggressive. You know what I mean? And it was like, I got a good laugh out of that shit. You guys got to see that shit, right?
Yeah. Holly's like, you know, it's kind of funny because I've been tested like 37 times too, like more than you. One time you got tested 36, I've been tested 37. So like, you know, I don't know what you're bitching about, Cyborg. Go shave your back.
No, but Cyborg comes back with a video on Twitter saying something like, "Well, let's get tested the same amount for this fight." And it's just like, dude, stop it, stop the bullshit.
Jesus Christ, yeah, can we just stop? Cyborg, look, check it out, baby girl. We know you're cheating.
Yeah,
I know you're cheating. I bet my pretty left testicle that you're cheating. So we'll just wait until you get caught. I mean, you're gonna fucking eventually get caught. Like, there's no fucking doubt in my mind this Cyborg is on fucking steroids. I'm sorry. But just, can we fucking just call a spade a spade? Like, fucking stop it.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to stop that shit. But who would you pick in that fight if they actually make it? Because they haven't made it yet, right? They're still negotiating shit.
Well, are you fucking high? Don't get me wrong. Cyborg's going to kill that hoe. She's on drugs. Let's not make no mistake about it. She's fucking jacked up.
God damn.
She's going to put the fucking hands to Holly Holm, son. If she makes it, and one of these 37 tests don't pop back hot, Holly's taking a beat. Listen, crazier shit's happened, right? I'll tell you this. If they make that fight, the one fucking advice that I could give, which I know matters none to fucking somebody like Holly, don't be gun shy. Get knocked out in the first 2 minutes instead of taking a sustained beating, because the only way that Holly will actually beat Cyborg is if she fucking jumps on her and she knocks the fuck out of her in the first 30 seconds of that fight and gives Cyborg a reason to draw back. If Cyborg finds her range and Holly fights like she's been fighting in most of her UFC fights, kind of waiting, Cyborg's gonna fucking thunder strike her and knock her the fuck out.
Y'all seen that video of Cyborg, Gabby Garcia, and like two other chicks like doing Zumba? Have you seen it?
No, but the fact that Cyborg even knows Gabby Garcia means that she's definitely on steroids. Have y'all ever seen Gabby Garcia?
Gosh, she's huge.
Can we stop with the horse shit for just a second? How you gonna be her friend and try to convince us that you're not on steroids? Girl, bye. What the fuck are we talking about?
Wait. Garcia. Let me just say that your guys' opinions are not mine, and I do not want to get killed by Cyborg since I live in California.
Yeah, you're closer than I am, so.
Let me tell you something. Cyborg's got more money than Julia Pena, Jack. What was that motherfucker? That Don King character at the end of Rocky 5 or Rocky 4 was like, hit me,
yeah.
And he hit him. I'm sure he got sued too. That's me with Cyborg. Hit me, bitch. I dare you. I'll take all that royalty money.
All that Roy made money. Raider says, "Yep, Holly needs to spider monkey her ass from the get go." Yeah, and that's something that's something Holly Holm does not do. So it would definitely take.
You know the weird thing about it is she could.
Oh yeah, she could.
She got the physical tools too. She's just got to not give a fuck. She's got to get off first on her. If she can fucking crack her, she could definitely beat Cyborg. She's big. She's actually a good size for the division. If she don't cut that weight, she'll be hella strong. She's got the technique. She's got the power. She just needs to come out full bore. And listen, she might fucking whiff and get counter-struck and get knocked the fuck out anyways. But if she don't, and she can clip that bitch with something big early on, and she doesn't really even got to knock her out. She just needs to fucking instill some fear in her early.
Yo, Raider will keep going. She goes, or kick her in the nuts.
No, I did not say that.
Hey, whatever, man. You know, there's like that Cyborg Nation on Twitter. They just let you have it if you say anything even that seems possibly negative about Cyborg. So that.
Why can I not get hated on Twitter? How about this? Fuck Cyborg and her nuts. Please come hang out. I be bored as fuck when I'm taking the kids to school. I be trying to troll people on Twitter. I don't get no love. Folks don't even block me. They don't even respond and shit. I'm like, damn.
Hey Fred, all you have to do is add Cyborg Nation, and you'll get some interesting answers there. Don't you worry, you'll get it.
I got so much shit for even insinuating the Cyborg might fail a test. And she's been clean forever now. Okay, so she failed one test, and I'm like, well, yeah, and she's been killing chicks since then too. So I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So anyway, all right, fucking Cyborg. Anything else you guys want to hit before we touch on this Poland card and the ridiculous? What is it? Would you say, Fred? 10 cards in 11 weeks?
Yeah, I think we got a card every weekend from now to Christmas.
Yeah, about that. So
as the Great Nose tweeted yesterday or something like that.
Yeah, Jesse.
Just wanted to cover that Ian McCall news real quick for Joey Tremendous.
Oh, yeah.
I know he was asking us about it, and so Eddie, set it up with how much is out there, and then I'll fill in the details of what happens after that.
All right. So Ian McCall got his release from the UFC, right? And now he's signed with Ryzen. That's basically what's out there, right? He's actually going to be part of. He's moving to bantamweight from flyweight, and he's going to be taking part in their. Let me get the right terms here because I do have an article up about it. He is going to take part in a Grand Prix, I believe, which I believe is like a 2-day tournament. Yeah,
correct.
So Ian McCall to fight in Ryzen bantamweight Grand Prix on December 29th. All right, so that's basically what's out there.
All right, so filling in the details. Well, you also said that it was out there that he fired his management team. From what I know, he did get a raise from his UFC contract. His management team, took that call. Apparently, he was not available to be a part of that call, and that's what pissed him off. That they made a decision on his behalf without him being there, even though he's the one that did not answer his phone call. So dropped his management team, got his release from the UFC, and he put it out there, right? He put it out there that he wanted $100K to fight or anything less, and it wasn't worth his health. So not to say how much he did get, but he did get what he had put out there to go be a part of this Risen tournament. So, Uncle Creepy's looking like he's in good shape right now. And the other thing that most people don't understand is why he's fighting at bantamweight is because he just can't make flyweight. His health is just not there for it. He gets down to a certain weight and he just can't hold any food down, any water. It's bad. He's getting like this weird brain stimulation thing to try and help it, but that doesn't help it either. So at 135, it seems like he's at a weight where he can actually fight, hydrate, and everything, cut down to 135 and be there. He walks around 150, so it's not a big weight cut for him. So, I mean, look for him to do something there, man. But, I mean, it's tricky. Moving up in a weight class, fighting overseas, 2-night tournament, crazy for him.
Yeah, keep in mind, he hasn't fought since 2015 when he fought John Lineker at UFC 183, which was that Silva against that Nick Diaz card. So it's been a long time since he's fought.
I think this is great for Uncle Creepy, though.
Sure, yeah.
All of it. The money, the new weight division, not having to cut the weight, going and getting a lower level of competition to come back on. You know what I'm saying? This is all good shit for him. You know what I mean? And I would not be surprised to see him go over there and dominate and come back to the UFC. Give him a year, 3 or 4 fights or some shit, ride out this Risen contract. Like, I can see Uncle Creepy doing it. He's talented, man. If he gets his head screwed on right, he's a beast.
But do you think being the guy that, you're looking at your health versus what you're making, don't you think it'd just be better to just fight at Risen, make the money, and never come back to the UFC? Just be happy with making that money? Who cares, right? At this point.
Well, I mean, at this point, yeah, but give him 3 or 4 good wins and a little cash in the pocket, and let him. I mean, we'll see what happens. But if he's fucking dominating at 35 and he can actually win against a couple of nobodies, and then they scrape up a low key somebody for him to dominate or something, and the UFC gets interested. I mean, we'll see. His career might not be over, man. Uncle Creepy's really good. We'll have to see what he can do if he comes back up to 35. He isn't cutting all that weight. He might have a career resurgence. Anything's possible.
Yeah, it's possible. I just, again, health issues and all stuff. I just don't see it happening. But hey, look, fuck it. Good for you, Uncle Creepy. Get that money.
We won't know.
Yeah, fight. Have some fun. See what's up. All right. So this weekend, ladies and gentlemen, we got and Jesse, Joey says thanks. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, so this weekend in Gdansk, fuck, I can't say that. Poland. In Poland.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Come on, don't be an ass.
Whatever, dude. Early. It's an early fucking card, all right, for everybody. 8:30 a.m. Pacific time. It's my time. It's 8:30 in the morning. 11:30 your time there, Fred, in the Eastern time. It's packed with actually. It's actually not a bad card.
Wait. Is 11:30 my time? Is that like early prelims or main card?
So it's all Fight Pass, right? The prelims are 11:30 your time.
Okay, so that's when the very first fight starts.
Yeah, your main card starts at 3 p.m.
Okay, gotcha. All
right, so we got, first fight of the night, Felipe Arantes against Josh Emmett. Lena Landsberg's taking on Aspen Ladd, who's coming in from Invicta. Yeah. Artem Lobov against Andre Fili. It's not a bad fight.
Yeah, I'm always down to see Artem Lobov take a beating too. I think he's going to lose that fight, hopefully.
I think so, dude. I didn't know Andre Fili has 9-inch reach advantage on him.
He doesn't use his reach all that well as far as it goes, but
yeah. Yeah, we'll see. I'm thinking of Fili on that one as well. And just a couple of names. Sam Alvey needs an impressive win, not just a win, but an impressive win.
He's fighting an unnamed Russian, right?
Yeah, Ramazan Emeev, who, by the way, I looked up, and he's not a fucking pushover, but he is coming in on I think he's coming in short notice, so he has an advantage. Damian Stasiak against Brian Kelleher. Anthony Hamilton's back, taking on Adam Wigzarek. Yeah, and then Marcin Held is on the card as well. So the main card kicks off with Oscar Pichota against Jonathan Wilson. And then John Blachowicz is back, taking on Devin Clark.
I know.
Yeah, should be a good fight. Here's the main co-main event. Karolina Kowalkiewicz, who's number 3 ranked strawweight, taking on Jody Escobar, who's out of that Jackson's MMA camp. So, Karolina trying to climb her way back up to the title picture. And of course, the main event, Cowboy Donald Cerrone taking on Darren Hill. Darren Hill doing a lot of talking, man, talking about, you don't want to strike with me, Cowboy. Cowboy's like, hey, I'm game. Let's fucking do this shit. And that, to me, is like signs of a fucking firefight. What do you think of that, Fred?
Yeah, I tell you what, I don't doubt Cowboy's word. I'll give him that. I've never been the biggest Cowboy fan, but I've never took that man to be a bullshitter. I don't doubt. Now, listen, don't get it twisted either. I have seen Cowboy shoot on a takedown before. If Darren Till starts lighting up his face and he gets rocked, he most certainly will try to take that motherfucker to the ground. But he will oblige him in the striking battle to begin, for sure. Cowboy will test the waters to see if he can win that striking battle. The question is that a smart decision or not? Because I do think that he'll start that way, and Darren Till obviously wants to make it a striking battle. The question is Till as good as he thinks he is? Is he as good a striker as he thinks he is? Cowboy has very good striking, ironically enough. Like, he's actually fucking super good on the ground too. But his striking has actually gotten very, very good. I don't know, though. I wouldn't call him a striker, though. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of weird. Like, I wouldn't really look at him as like a dynamic striker per se. But he's a very, very great and serviceable striker. That being said, striking seems to be Darren Till's wheelhouse. So we'll see. This is the ultimate litmus test fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're going to find out exactly how good Darren Till is in this fight. I think, because I love shit like this, he's that good. I want to say he knocks Cowboy out in the second round, because I fucking love hype trains and shit. And if Cowboy wins, what do we get out of that? Fucking Nathan. Just another dead prospect. Fuck, I hope Cowboy loses.
Jesse, what are you thinking?
Man, I like it when Fred takes a stand like this, because then later on we can make fun of him for, picking the dumbass decision.
I do love Cowboy, though, for the record. Cowboy seems like the coolest fucking dude in the world to, like, just go kick it with. I mean, he seems like a really fucking cool guy. But, I mean, we've been there, done that, man. I don't want to see him win no more at the top of the division. Kill no prospects.
Sadly, I agree with you. I think this is a fight where they're trying to build off Darren Till off of Cowboy's name. And because we all know Cowboy, right? I mean, what guy would not want to hang out with Cowboy?
Right.
I don't think there's a single guy out there that doesn't know about Cowboy wouldn't want to hang out with him. If you're a guy and you don't want to hang out with Cowboy, you're probably a woman. So, it's just one of those things. He's a relatable guy, and he just does what he does, right? He likes to fight. You know, and he's the type of guy. I think it was Luke Thomas that was saying this, or somebody else, I forget who it was. That he is a real guy. When he says anytime, anywhere, it literally means anytime, anywhere. He takes fights with anybody. I mean, who would take a Darren Till fight at this point? Look at Darren Till's record. Undefeated, but against nobodies. I mean, you can't look at his list of people that he's beaten and say, oh yeah, that guy's good. That you can't. I mean, they're all nobodies. Yeah, Cowboy is fighting this guy in a main event in Poland. I mean, that's definitely the epitome of anytime, anywhere for me. So, yeah, I agree with you guys. I think it's going to be a firefight, and I hope Darren Till wins. I mean, we need an infusion in this division, and we need more prospects. You know, we need prospects one way or another.
I agree with and look, I like when younger names finally make get a big fight against a big name and then prove that they're not just a hype train. But yeah, he'd be huge for like UK MMA as well because they they're trying to get more guys in there to be in the top echelon of fighters. All right, so but again, this is weekend. So this Saturday, again 8:30 a.m. for the West Coast, 11:30 for the East Coast, 3 p.m. noon Pacific time is the main card, and then 3 p.m. Eastern time is the main card for you guys. So, like Fred's saying, there's literally a card. Looks like every weekend up until Christmas, and then 5 days after Christmas is UFC 219. So, so again, this weekend is the Darren Till Cowboy Cerrone. Next weekend, October 28th, live from Sao Paulo, Brazil. UFC Fight Night, so it'll be an FS1 card, depending on what the contract's like. Actually, no, it is going to be an FS1. It's it's Brunson against Machida. With so the return of Lyoto Machida, I don't know how long he's been out, but he's been serving that suspension. On that card as well, Damian Maia against Colby Covington, who's a fucking loudmouth. Francisco Trinaldo against Jim Miller is on that card. Who else is on there? Carlos Zapato's on that card. And it's a solid card, especially for a free one. After that, November 4th from New York, Madison Square Garden is that UFC 217 Fire card. Let's just hope it fucking makes it together. Just keep it together, motherfuckers. Don't get hurt. Again, Bisping against
Quick. Okay. Hold on. To interrupt you while we're here on this one, I gotta know quickly, boys. I'm really surprised at the amount of people that are actually having the stones to pick GSP in this fight.
Who's
publicly on record. My homie Kyle picked him. I've seen a bunch of fuckers on Twitter picking him. A lot of people think GSP is going to win this fight. Do either one of you think that GSP not only wins, but actually even has a fucking chance at winning this fight?
I think Bisping wins this fight. Like, I mean, clearly.
Yeah, same. I think Bisping low-key. I think Bisping smashes GSP, man. Yeah. I think the size, GSP's time off, even just the styles of their fights, like, who holds fucking Bisping down other than Tim Kennedy on steroids?
Yeah, very true. Jesse, what do you think?
I don't know, man. I'm not even gonna fathom a guess, just because of the fact that we haven't seen GSP in a long time. And who was the last high level wrestler / boxer that Bisping fought that's very good at the transitions as well as GSP? It's been a long time. So I don't know, man. I agree with you guys, though. If I'm just looking at it, not with rose-colored glasses of GSP's career, it should be Bisping's night of just, smashing GSP and moving on. But like Fred said, this is why we like MMA, man. You never know what happens.
That's true. That's true. But short of one of those stories, Bisping's too big, dog. GSP's little punk ass fucking Freddie Roach jab is not going to deter Michael Bisping, man. I just feel like Bisping's been getting punched by the likes of Dan Henderson and fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man. I don't think GSP's going to be able to hurt him. Maybe I could be wrong. Maybe Mike takes him lightly and shit, and George comes in with something to prove. But
yeah, it's possible.
Did y'all also hear on the Noses show where he was saying that GSP's like #1 mentor had posted something saying that like he did not he told George not to take this fight, that he saw him sparring and said that he did not like what he's seen, and thought that this was a bad fight, bad time to come back, blah blah blah. Now Ariel had said that people had texted him saying that dude was just salty because he wasn't in the corner and Freddie Roach was, so it was sour grapes. But if not, like that's GSP's fucking like mentor, like it's the dude that called him retiring before he retired.
Yeah, I don't know. It could be sour grapes, or it could be like, hey, don't fuck up the numbers now. Don't we fucking up those numbers now? You know what I mean? So I don't know. Raider says GSP has rust all over him, and he's going to. It's been years since he's fought.
Right. And I think, dude, I tell you what, man, like I said, Michael Bisping is one of those guys, man. You better ask Luke Rockhold about Mike Bisping. Like, the fucking dude will surprise you, man. Like, I mean, he is not an easy out for nobody, man. Like, that dude, I think ultimately, at the end of the day, styles make fights. And Bisping is not going to be a great fucking, he's just too big. And too versatile. His wrestling's too good. You know, Bisping's kind of like GSP, man. He don't got no real wrestling base, but he's got good wrestling. He doesn't really get dominated by big men. They're not able to dominate. I mean, Chael Sonnen won the fight, but like still, Bisping made it interesting. And Chael's a mite bigger than, and he was fucking juiced up.
He was fucking Johnson makes a point. Well, first of all, he goes, GSP only has one eye, or Bisping only has one eye, but he also said, who didn't GSP hold down? He goes, it's only a 10-pound difference in wrestling that will not matter at all. GSP held down Rig, and Rig was a great wrestler. Here's the thing. I think to me, it's not necessarily about this level of wrestling. I think it's about the time off. To me, it's about the time off. And the fact that, Bisping's bigger and all that shit. I think the time off matters a lot.
Yeah. Just physical strength too, man. Bisping's coming down from 205. He's a big 85er. I don't think people realize how big Michael Bisping is, man.
He's
that dude is a big fucking dude, man. He is going to be a fuckload bigger than GSP when they get in that cage. And believe it or not, that does matter. When technique matches technique, the bigger fucker wins. I mean, we have weight divisions for a reason. GSP's heading up and Mike's coming down technically. When they meet, Mike's going to be a lot bigger than George that night, man. Might not mean that much. Technique might prove out. But I don't think this is a smart fight for George at all. I think he should have stayed at 70. Yeah. I think he's got a fuckload better chance of beating Tyron Woodley than he does Michael Bisping. I mean, I think if Tyron doesn't thunderstrike him in the first round, he could out-wrestle Tyron. I just don't think he out-wrestles and keeps Bisping down. He's too big.
Meanwhile, Tyron Woodley's pissed that he's not going to get to fight the winner. So, it's all good. All right. Also on this card, Cody Garbrandt defending his belt against TJ Dillashaw. We know the beef behind that. All the Team Alpha Male shit. And Joanna Jędrzejczyk defending her belt against Rose Namajunas. What's also on the main card, which I'm pretty excited for this because Jorge Masvidal is going to make Wonderboy fight. He's going to make him fight. Like, he's not going to let Thompson just do his little, karate stance back and forth for fucking 25 minutes.
But I don't think Wonderboy. I don't think that's fair, really. I don't think Wonderboy wants to do that. I think that's more Tyron Woodley dragon fights. That I'm sorry,
maybe, man. And I'm with you on that too.
Because I think this fight, I think Wonderboy. I mean, listen, the only way Wonderboy ain't gonna wrestle fuck him. His BJJ ain't off the charts. The only way he does win this fight is if he fucking lands some crazy. So he has to oblige Masvidal in the striking in order to win this fight. Yeah. You're right. That will be a fun fight for sure.
That's gonna be fun as shit. Who you taking there?
Jesus Christ, I have no fucking idea.
Oh, man. I got game bread all day.
I don't know, man. I don't think it would be smart to just write Wonderboy off, man. His striking, even though fucking Tyron Woodley had really good showings against him, dude's striking is still fucking really, really good. I guess at the end of the day, I agree with you. I think Masvidal's got more tools, but he better be cool, man. Wonderboy definitely has the ability to fucking hit you with that one big fucking death kill shot.
Yeah, it should be kind of crazy. Jesse, who'd you pick in that fight between Masvidal and Thompson?
Wonderboy. I think the problem with Masvidal is he's been too safe of a fighter and he plays it a little too safe. I get where you guys are coming from, that he's got the skills and everything, but I just don't think he's gonna have enough to outpoint him. I think he's gonna try for a points game, and I think that's gonna cost him in the end. And I think he might get thunderstruck. In that second or third round. So I don't know, man. It like you guys said, it's going to be an interesting fight either way. I just think Masvidal has been playing it a little too safe recently.
Gotcha.
That's what makes this fight such a good fight is that no matter who you pick, like you can make a good case for Wonderboy getting that big shot, and you can make a good case for fucking Jorge Masvidal just straight outboxing him. I mean, if Tyron Woodley can land that big punch, fucking Jorge can, and Jorge's probably got a 1-2-1-2 right behind it. So that's a fantastic fight.
All right. Also on the main card, Johnny Hendricks Big Rig. If he makes weight, he gets to fight Paulo Bohachina, which is fucking death sentence in my opinion. But so that's the main card. And on the prelims, guys like James Vick, Joe Duffy throwing down. The Walt Harris Mark Godbeer fight has been rebooked on him, which is good. And Mickey Gall returns against Randy Brown. So solid card. I mean, actually, that's a fucking good card. So I just hope it stays together. So after that, November 11th, we got UFC Fight Night out of Norfolk, Virginia. We got Dustin Poirier against Anthony Pettis, which to me is a sick fight. Also on that card, Matt Brown's retirement fight against Diego Sanchez. Durlovsky against Junior Albini, who we saw do some crazy shit last time he fought. Just totally surprised everybody. Nate Marquardt fighting Cesar Ferreira. And Rafael Sunstar taking on Matthew Lopez. And Joe Lozon taking on Clay Guida. Look at that fight.
God damn. Whoa.
What the fuck?
Hold on. Rewind for a minute. What are these names you're saying to me? This is like the old guy card.
Yeah, this is the old guy card.
We got Matt Brown fighting Diego Sanchez, which I still think Diego is going to take a beat in that fight. We got Arlovsky on this card. What other fucking old ass names did you just throw at me?
Nate Marquardt.
Jesus Christ.
Cesar Ferreira, who's a mutante, who's one of one of Belfort's guys. Yeah. Rafael Sunsao, who's he's been around for a while. But the fight that gets me on this is Joe Lozon against Clay Guida. I didn't even know Clay Guida still fought.
Jesus Christ. Me neither.
Dude, that just tells you how many fucking guys are on this UFC roster that we forget who's in it. You know what I mean? Like, fuck, is that guy still fighting? You know what I mean? That even happens.
Can you even pick a winner in that fight? I mean, I guess you pick Joe Lozon, right?
I'd go with Joe Lozon, but
who knows what to expect out of Clay at this point?
Because Clay fights one of two ways. He's either all in or all out. Yeah. One or the other. He's not. He's never in the middle and or anything like that. So, also on this card, John Dodson is Marlon Moraes, which to me is a really good fight.
God damn, that's a great fight.
Yeah. Sage Norton against me, Michelle Quinones. Angela Hill against Nina Ansaroff.
That's a good fight too.
Yeah, so Court McGee's on this card against Sean Strickland. This is a good free card for sure. So that's November 11th. Yeah, it's November 11th. November 18th from Sydney, Australia was supposed to be Mark Hunt against Marcin Tybura. Is that his first name? Marcin? Yeah, Marcin Tybura. Mark Hunt spoke a little too much. The UFC said, yank, pulls him out. Then we got Fabricio Verdum against Marcin Tybura in the main event in Sydney with the co-main event of Beck Rollins against Jojo Calderwood at 125. Tim Means against Bilal Muhammad. Elias Theodoro, who everyone loves on Twitter, against Daniel Kelly, who needs all the tape in the world. And this card's not finished, by the way. There's plenty of room to add fights to this card, so there'll be more fights. But November 25th, that Saturday, is that Anderson Silva against Kelvin Gastelum fight.
Where's that at?
That, make sure here, is Shanghai, China.
Oh,
that's a fight night. Wow, when's the last time we saw Anderson Silva not on a pay-per-view? This is a fight night. Okay.
What was it, that Fight Pass where he fought against Bisping?
Oh, right. Okay, so that makes sense. All right. And then also on that card, Caitlin Curran gets another chance to stay on the roster. Good for her. And Chase Sherman, the gift king on Twitter, gets Shamil Abdurakhimov. So that
motherfucker said, I see when he got that fight, he tried to say Chase Sherman versus the alphabet.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I you know what, he does. That dude does good work on Twitter. After that, Friday, December 1st, 2017 is no main event announced yet, but is the Ultimate Fighter finale. Then we got Andrew Sanchez against Ryan James in the co-main. Joe Soto's back against Brett Johns. Not a lot of names, pretty much on that one. But again, that's a while from now, so it's not a lot. But December 2nd. That's a Saturday, right out the day after UFC 218, Holloway against Edgar. That's a sick fight. I don't think we talked about that in Detroit.
Mentioning that, did you see the poster? How the official UFC poster misspelled championship?
Did it really?
Yeah, they're missing an A on their poster. Go look it up.
Damn. When are you guys gonna hire Boss Logic? He can at least use spell check, you fucks.
Oh shit.
Idiots.
Hey, by the way, I know we've jumped all the way down the list of these events, but we are skipping an awesome fight in my opinion, and I don't know if you guys are gonna agree with me, but an awesome fight in on Friday, Gegard Mousasi against Alexander Shlemenko over at Bellator.
Is that this Friday?
That's Friday.
This is Friday. Fuck, this is Friday.
That
Holy
is
shit. I am gonna watch that.
Here's a crappy thing. From Uncasville.
All right, you cut out. You gotta start that over.
No, I was just saying where it's from. It's in Uncasville, Connecticut, where everything goes on.
Oh, that's that fucking Mohegan Sun fucking casino.
Yeah.
All right, whatever. No, look, Gegard's gonna win. I don't give a shit. But it's a good fight.
He better.
Yeah. Gegard's their biggest signing to date, right? So they need this dude to fucking win. All right. So on that,
wait,
what?
No. I would say for Fred, the biggest thing that will attract him to this card is Heather Hardy's fighting on this card, and I know Fred loves his beautiful ladies that punch people in the face. So
you know what,
Heather Hardy.
I'm not a big fan of Heather Hardy. I gotta say, all due respect, you know, she's got that I might give you syphilis type look.
All right, and if that's not your taste,
that's a dick softener for me. I like them nerdy and clean.
Oh shit! Fucking they got that one chick that's hot as shit, but she fights once in a while. She gets cans. Forgot her name.
How about this other name then? Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. Kuniskaya, right?
Yeah. I think.
Yeah.
She's fine as shit.
Anna Hulatan is also making her debut for Bellator, so that's also another person to look out for.
Cool. So that's this weekend. So you guys got card fight on Friday night. You got fights on Saturday morning. So all right. Back to this UFC 218 card. We got Holloway against Frankie Edgar. Co-main event. Alistair Overeem against Francis Ngannou. The winner's gonna get Stipe. I don't see any other way.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Eddie Alvarez against Justin Gaethje. Henry Cejudo against Sergio Pettis, coming off the incredible story of him fucking having to jump out of a window to survive the fires in California. That is a fucking crazy story. But if you guys haven't heard it, just look it up on YouTube. It's fucking crazy. Ali Quinta gets on Paul Felder when he's not fucking trying to sell houses. And, Felice Herrig, ABC's on here. Amanda Bobby Cooper against Angela Magana. Whoa, Angela Magana's still fighting. Okay.
Yep. And
then they just added Tisha Torres against Michelle Watterson. So it's a good fight. So that's UFC 218. December 9th, you got Swanson against Brian Ortega in Fresno on FS1. And then December 16th, fight night. This is a big fight. Lawler against Dos Anjos.
God damn, boy. I gotta tell you, man, the UFC kind of had a little bit of a shitty fucking first, second, and third quarter, but it looks like the fourth quarter, they're going to finish strong.
Pedal to the metal. Hey, this Robbie Lawler RDA card, co-main event, Jose Aldo against Ricardo Lamas.
God damn, that's what I'm fucking talking about, dude.
And then Santiago Ponzinibbio against Mike Perry.
God damn.
And then Glover Teixeira against Misha Serkinov. I mean, goddamn.
Holy shit, dude. What is that? Is that a Fox card?
That's a fucking Fox card, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's gotta be like a big Fox card. That's fucking sick.
Dude, that's a sick fucking card for free. December 16th. So Merry Christmas, motherfuckers. And
that's a pay-per-view card.
That should be, right? But hey, let's keep it free. We're good. And then UFC 219, December 30th. That's your New Year's cards, what they call it. No main event announced yet, but the co-main is not co-main. Here's the fucking cards, the fights on the card. Dominic Cruz against Jimmy Rivera.
Very good.
Cynthia Calvillo against Carlos Esparza, which is basically Calvillo making a name off Esparza. Yeah. Former champion and all that. Luis Smolka is going to try and make that weight again at 125 against Mateus Nicolau. And then the return of one Carlos motherfucking Condit against Neil Magny on that card. That card's already shaping up to be pretty good. And plenty of room for more fights.
All they gotta do is sign fucking Connor Tony, and we're done, son. It'll be a wrap on the year.
Yeah, and that one's from Las Vegas, so it's probably gonna end up being like T-Mobile Arena or something like that. So
perfect.
Yeah, definitely. So if you guys are in Vegas for New Year's, might want to get yourself some tickets as soon as they go on sale, especially if they don't announce that Connor card fight yet.
Like hypothetically, just for the sake of argument, say if they swear that shit's gonna be sick. Fuck you, Nate. That's what you get for playing too good. If they line up motherfucking Khabib and Barboza, and then they can sign the Connor versus Tony fight and do them both on this card at the end of the year with all these other fights. Holy fucking shit, it'll be so sick. And then if Khabib wins, I think he would, and Connor can win, I think that ultimately sets up the biggest fight that you can make in MMA right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
If they both can win those fights, because I think Khabib has the gift. He's got what Fedor used to do, he can do.
Yeah, he just has to make it to the fight.
Right. He just has to make it and have an impressive performance. If he can go and fucking smash Barboza on the same card that Conor fights on, good shit.
Agreed. All right. Anything else you guys want to hit before we wrap it up?
Nope. Just wrapped up everything. Fucking whole year.
Just throw it out. Throw it out that Combates is having their show next month, so be on the lookout for that. It's gonna be on Telemundo, so my good friend Fred here can watch it. Just put it on mute and just enjoy the fights, my friend.
Or don't put it on mute.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you something. I used to have Telemundo on an old fucking cable thing I had. One time I was fucking flipping through the channels. I fucking thought I hit like fucking Skinamax or something.
Yeah.
The fucking music videos, you guys don't really censor them like that. There was just fucking fat Latin asses shaking everywhere and thongs and shit.
Yeah, no fucks given, dude. It's just, you know.
I'm gonna have to renew my Telemundo subscription.
No, just watch the news, man. Ask Eddie over there. Any of the news, the weather girls over there, they got you covered.
As soon as that one weather chick with a booty on her, like, fucking got famous, every news station in Mexico, but also in the U.S., is trying to get a fine-ass girl on the weather.
Makes sense.
It's happening now. So, hey, it got views. All right, gentlemen.
Everything's better with beautiful women.
Oh, dude, 100%. Make that a shirt.
Like, if you make a business, like, just have beautiful women serve whatever you're doing.
Make a shirt and sell that shit, because everyone's buying that. Everything's better with beautiful women. That's how it works. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with us. Shout out to John Smith, Raider. UC was on here today. Jeremiah on here earlier. I didn't see Mike Jarves, but what's up, Mike? And then Uncle Hank's drinking buddy, Raider, was on here, and of course, my co-hosts here. You can follow Fred Kirby at Kirby_MMA. Jesse's at Spawat1983. I am at Elot31, and the page is at Crossroads MMA. Also, Keyboard Warriors is at Keyboard MMA. Make sure you hit up rep crossroadsmma.com. Get yourself some gear, helps us out. Get yourself some good shit. And, of course, spiciespros.com. Gentlemen, it's going to be it for us tonight. So, shout out to everybody. Thanks for watching. For myself, Fred Kirby, and the entire team, good night, and good night, Wilshire.